So here's the next part of our discussion.
Like, you know what to do. And so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna sign the papers. And so I went to the nurse's station to tell her that I was going to go through with it and sign the adoption papers. And they didn't have a clue who I was talking about. They're like, there is no large Black nurse that works anywhere in this ward.
Ooh.
And
so
I was like, well, okay, because in 1983, they still wore like the white uniforms with the white hose and the white shoes, like not scrubs. Like you knew it was a nurse. Like now, nurses come in, you don't know if it's a nurse, a physician's assistant, like doctor, because they all dress like the same. But back then, they wore like the nurse garb, right?
So basically, what it sounds like you're saying to me is that you had a visitation because of your faith, which allowed you the courage, because my birth mother did not want to give me up. She was forced to. She was a Nigerian woman living in London, and her cheating husband said, if you don't, because I look exactly like her, whereas all of her other children looked like a mixture. And her husband at the time said, if you don't get rid of this baby, I'm going to throw you out on the street. And so I think what I'm keen to cap off, because I'll edit this all over the place, is that birth mothers don't, I think, rarely, Rachel, what do you think about birth mothers wanting to give up their children?
I think it's very courageous. I think it's the most selfless thing a human being can do. I really do. I'm in a very different perspective because I've had multiple experiences around this. I think we also there's a lot of put on for birth mothers. There's also birth fathers like mine who abandoned me, walked away, and kept going. So we need to address that too. That it's not just the mothers out there. You know my story that my mom died 2 days after giving birth to me. So I think we need to bring that up too. There's a lot of birth fathers who abandon, walk on, go with their lives, and that shapes everything too. And that shapes everything. I mean, if people don't talk about the emotions that adoptees have, we have separation anxiety, we have abandonment issues, we have trust issues, we have issues of whether or not people, are they truly going to be there? They could say it, but for me, it's like, show it. Like, you can say it. It's great. Words are great and wonderful, but show it. I mean, so for us, those beginning part of our lives where the ties were broken. Now, there are many, adoption is necessary across this world. There are too many children sitting in orphanages. There are too many children who are in the foster care system that need homes. I mean, there's just too many displaced children who don't deserve that, and they need a home, and that's why we are so pro-adoption. But I think it's important to understand that every emotion that we all feel as adoptees, it matters. It matters. And people tend to dismiss that when you say, oh, well, why do you feel that way about that? I'm like, because I have issues with my adoption. I'm like, you don't, you did exactly what my biological father did. You left, you abandoned me, and all of that stays with us for the rest of our lives.
Well, this was the thing that was resonated so strongly with me, is Come back for the next part of this discussion.